of a lot of things, from needing to lose weight, increasing my energy, having 3 kids. I couldn't keep up, especially with the everyday household chores. I had just gone through a lot of an emotional roller coaster with the death in the family, and then we had some financial setbacks. So that kind of triggered my want and why for starting this journey, not only for my health to hopefully help me get back on top of things, but I also saw it as a way to possibly make extra money for our family as well. And along the way, I have accomplished all of those physically. I'm working on the financial part still. I'm not in a hurry on that because I know you don't get rich quick. So, so I see how that works. Other than that, I just want to pursue this as something to help my family, so I don't have to go back to work full time. I can do this to help increase extra income and still be home with the kids and stuff like that, and do what I've been doing for the past 12 years. So,
and tell everybody the ages of your kids.
My oldest is 12, and then I have a 10-year-old and soon to be 6-year-old. So my youngest one just started kindergarten, and he's only a few hours a day every day. So it's kind of opened up my mornings to kind of work on my business more and not feel guilty about taking time away from him. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I feel like I have more time to put into my business now.
And tell me, are your kids drinking shakes?
My youngest one is obsessed with the strawberry shake. My 10-year-old still has not come to the other side. It's not sweet enough for her, so I'm still working on that. And my oldest one does them every now and again. They love the bars, though. Their favorite is the peanut butter crunch bar. Those ones, if I do not hide them, they are gone in a day. So I kind of need to stock up on those with my Ice Body coupons, I guess. So, but yeah, my husband does them too.
I was going to say, your husband. Now, did we ever get Matt to do the Ionics as well?
I have snuck it in his shakes, and he does notice, but it doesn't keep him from drinking them. So I kind of explore with them other things and stuff like that. And, he's one of those that when I first start doing something, he kind of looks at me like I have 2 heads, like, oh, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. But he did see how well it works for me. And then he's also noticed just doing the shakes alone, how much of an improvement he's seen in his digestive health. Just alone with the shakes have helped improve his health. So
now, do you have the essential oils?
I just ordered the Defense Shield. So I'm expecting that maybe Tuesday or Wednesday the latest.
Okay, so if you ever get the peppermint, supposedly one of the tips they gave at conference is for the people who, and I'm going to say this not so politically correct, for all the whiners out there who say they can't do Ionics because it doesn't taste good, whatever. Oh, yeah. For those people, we lost Julie. They say to put a drop of peppermint oil, and it's supposed to be a complete game changer. Okay. And I keep forgetting to try it to see what it tastes like. But that's a tip we learned at conference. If you have those people who cannot do the Ionics and they need to bake, try it with a drop of peppermint oil.
Definitely, I'll have to give that a try.
Okay, Val, let's move to you. So tell us a little bit about how you came to this journey and what you see this being for, support for you.
Yeah. So I started back in February, after Jody had reached out to me 3 or 4 times, probably over the last 5 years. But I had started about 14 months ago now, really taking things a little more seriously. I had been in therapy for anxiety, and one of the things that was kind of proposed by my therapist was maybe you should be doing more physical activity. Have you tried working out really regularly? And so I had been doing this real fitness component for about 7 or 8 months at that point, and just wasn't seeing the results I wanted from it. I was feeling a lot better, but not seeing any weight come off. And Jody reached out, and so started it, gave it a try, and almost immediately started feeling huge difference. And so for me, I've realized that the nutrition piece that was missing in my efforts to make a life change have become the real central focus of what I needed. So I'm a grad student, and I'm in my last semester of graduate school at Baylor and graduating in December. And I thought, there's no way I can afford to do this. There's no way I can manage this on a grad student budget. But have figured out a way to make it really manageable, and found that kind of some of the excuses I was making were, I'm too young to be doing something like that, or I'm too, I just don't want to be one of those people who, drinks the Kool-Aid. I don't want to be one of those. But those are kind of responses that were really just based off of things I was believing that just are not true. And this has filled in those pieces. So now my hope has been these last 6 months to really share that with other grad students and hope that others can see the way that great nutrition has made such a huge difference in the entire process of being in school and balancing, multiple part-time jobs alongside of classroom time and library time and internships and all those kind of things.
And share your vision. I love what you said to me when I came to visit you about, after you graduate, you want to be able to take any job, but we all know typically when you do either a nonprofit or a ministry job, typically the pay scales aren't there.
Yeah, so my degree that I'm getting is a Master's of Divinity, and I'm working on ordination with my church here in Waco, Texas. And so I'm in the process right now of applying for jobs in churches all over the country. Literally, I'm in Waco, Texas right now, and I'm applying for anything from here to the East Coast. So my real hope is that by creating some residual income with Isogenics, that I can be less concerned about finding the right job financially and be more concerned about finding the right job to live out the best that I can do in my calling and to do the most that I can for others and for the church. So that's really my focus at this point, is even just getting to the point where I can get my products paid for so that I'm less concerned about that financial piece. But ideally, I'd love to get to the point someday that I could use this as a way to pay off my student loans.
We're going to get you there. And I'm so excited that you're going to see your dad, but I'm super bummed it happens to fall on ICU weekend because the Favras are the youngest couple to hit millionaire. So I think they hit millionaire when they were 26 or 27, and they're maybe 29 or 30 now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're from Minneapolis, and they're coming down to speak.
But wow.
I wish you could come to that.
That would be cool.
But yes. So I'm going to do a team meeting with Val next month when I come to stay with her. And I'm super excited that her best friend finally joined after watching her.
Yes.
So those of you who heard me post about Micah, that's Val's best friend. And so, and if he wants to jump on coaching calls too, he's more than welcome to jump on as well. That I should have said that at the beginning. That I know, like, especially like Julie, if Alicia and Kim and those guys want to jump on these, this is for anybody down the line. It's not just my own personally enrolled. So if they want to jump on calls, we can do those, add them too as well. All right, okay. Julie, I'm going to have you go next. Share a little bit about why you started and what your vision is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I started 2 years ago in June, and I started really just for health reasons, and I had no belief in the financial part of it and any benefit in that regard, and that really wasn't my concern and wasn't what I was thinking about at that time. So I just wanted to feel better. I just felt like things were kind of out of control and that I was trying to do the right things, eat right. I learned a lot through working for chiropractors for years, and none of the stuff I learned was actually working for me. So it was pretty frustrating for me, and that's kind of when I said, okay, I've been watching Jody, I've been watching you and Randy for so long, and just kind of going, I'm not a shake person, I'm not going to do it, that's not something I want to do. And then I finally said, whatever I'm doing isn't, so I need to just go ahead and try something else. And, it's just, I actually looked at it in more depth once I finally got to that point where I started to feel desperate. And I started to learn that it really aligned with things that I was being taught, but it made it easier to actually get the things that your body needs versus trying to do that in just a whole food diet. So. And it was the science. It was the.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to have you share, because some of the people who don't know you personally yet, Julie, You're the opposite. And I think in our position, we can tend to generalize or prejudge. And a lot of people think this is majorly for weight loss. And yes, a lot of people do come in for weight loss. But you were the other extreme because you came in specifically because you were having gut issues and you couldn't put on weight. You were the other extreme of you had trouble putting lean muscle and weight on. And so that has helped you.
Right. Oh, a lot, definitely. I mean, I've never, I mean, my whole life, I've never been able to really build any kind of muscle. So I never really saw anything with working out. When I would go to the gym, I would just get skinnier. It's like I wasn't trying to get skinnier. I wanted to have some definition and some muscle tone. So this, having the protein pacing and having everything just lined up when you're following the system, and I do the amp line, which helps a lot too, and I've been able to get much better results than anything I've ever had before in terms of my strength. I mean, I think that it is maybe I am a little bit the opposite. There's not a lot of people who are looking for that same thing, but that's one of the things that's so amazing about the whole system is that it does have a solution for everybody, and it's not you don't have to do something completely different. You just need to focus on getting that nutrition, and then picking and choosing some of the I don't know. I mean, does that answer what you were asking?
Yeah. And I think that's really important for us to keep our eyes open, that people are looking for all different solutions. And so you can't tell if somebody, just by looking at them, is having gut issues or in a state where they're frustrated or almost in a depression. And even though we can't cure, promise, diagnose, or treat anything, we definitely have solutions to help people. Okay, so Jennifer, I know you're at home with the kids. You texted me. I'm going to unmute you for a second. Are you there, Jen?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Are you able to chat, and are you able to turn the camera on?
Let me see if I can turn the camera on.
It's at the bottom left. It'll say start video.
There we go. All right. Can you see me?
I can. There's one of your guys. Okay, so we totally understand if kids are running in and out. We don't worry about that.
Okay.
So Jen,
and I'm sure Katina will be listening to Barney the whole time, so I apologize if you hear that too.
That's okay. So Dr. Jen is one of our newest team members that came on, and she is my new chiropractor, and she's right here in Lake in the Hills. So Val, when Micah came to a sip and sample, it was Jen's sip and sample that she came to. And so what we're doing is we're just doing some sharing so everybody kind of hears where everybody is on the journey. So I had asked for people to share, what was it that attracted you to learn about Isagenix, and what has it done for you, and what do you see it for your future vision?
So really, I was looking for something for my practice to be able to have something that was scientifically based and would help people just feel healthier. So I had looked at a lot of different things, which from Shafley, sorry, my daughter's getting upset. Kadena, can you say hi? Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Hi. All right, it's okay. I have more Barney on. So it was really more about trying to figure out what was going to be best for my practice and for myself. So for everything that I did, Kadena, it's all right, sweetie. I wanted it to, one, for me to have tried it, and then also to, sorry, she's okay. Also for all of us to just be able to, go through it kind of together to see if this is the best thing to use, and realizing it's a full system was the best. I think the Ionics, along with every little step of the way from the shakes, and then I've even done the belly buster, which I think is fabulous as well with the greens. So all of it, they've thought so much through, scientifically based, and start to finish. It's so easy. So being able to offer that to my patients, and so they don't have to feel so overwhelmed with everything that's out there, that's the best thing that I've certainly discovered from it all. So it's easy to to tell patients how to use it. It's not overwhelming. So I think that's the best system I could have found.
Yay! We're excited. Okay, So while I chat, I'm going to mute everybody. So, I think I unmuted you, Christy. So is everybody else on mute? Okay. So the first thing, I had put in homework for you guys to download this IsoLife Success Plan. So those of us that went to Celebration, which I guess is Julie and I, we got hard copies of this. But the resource place for you guys to get all of your business and leadership info is a site called isogenicsbusiness.com. And on isogenicsbusiness.com, I think it's right on one of the beginning tabs. It is, I'll warn you guys, it's like 40 pages to print. So, you know, if some people like to just send it to Kinko's or to Office Max and have them print it, other people print it at home. I'm thinking, I saw Trudy Maples, she took it to Office Max and had the spiral bound that I wish they would have spiral bound for us. But what I like about this is it's a roadmap of what to do. And for the first time ever, so they've done these in the past, and in the past they were called 90-day game plans and 90-day action plans. So if you've seen the 90-day action plan, it's very similar template. However, what we are going to go over next week is that they give you actual scripts. So like scripts on what to say in a text, scripts on what to say in a Facebook post, like real life scripts that we can use with our friends that don't sound cheesy. They like are good scripts. And these were written, I'm sure, by the 7-figure income earners that they probably sat with Kathy Coover and came up with these. But this is a really great template because it is your roadmap of how to get to executive. So that's going to be really important for us, that we're going to kind of follow this guide as we go. The other thing we talked about, and what I talked about for those of you who are tuning on late, is that I like the consistency of each group, like Sunday night's group and Wednesday afternoons or Wednesday mornings group. But if something comes up and you can't attend the Sunday night one, you're welcome to tune in on Wednesday at 11:30, because we will be going over the same material. It's just different accountability people. And so what we talked about Wednesday that I figured was a really good place to start is that I think one of the biggest challenges people have in network marketing in general is that this is an industry where you don't sit and work a 9-to-5 job. You work in pockets, which is spectacular because like you've heard Val said, she's in grad classes. Julie works full-time outside the house. Jen has a brand new chiropractic practice. Like we all have things we're doing throughout our day. So it's kind of funny because people will say to me, oh my gosh, you work all the time or you're on Facebook all the time. No, I'm not. I get up, I'll work for an hour or half an hour. I'll go work out. I'll come back. I'll do a little bit more work. I try and hit my biggest chunk between like 11 and 2. And then the kids come home, and when it's sports season, we have games. And then maybe I'm working another chunk at night. But this is truly a profession where you can put it in the pieces of your schedule and you can get a full-time income with part-time hours. But what I always emphasize, and I heard this in my previous business, is you can work this full-time, part-time, but not in your spare time, because none of us end up having spare time. So I think the biggest favor you could do for yourself is come up with your work hours. Now, I am a paper girl. I know some people, especially Val, being a younger person, you guys are probably techie people. You probably live by your iPhone calendars. I don't. My husband yells at me because I won't put things in the iPhone calendar, whatever. So I am an old-fashioned desk ink blotter, and I have a Franklin Covey planner. So what I really want to encourage you guys to do, whatever your method is, figure out how many days a week do you want to work on this? Is it 1 hour? Is it 2 hours? Is it 3 hours? And the key is consistency. You know, a lot can be accomplished in an hour, and an hour can be 2 30 segments broken up, or it could be 1 straight hour. But I think the biggest key is actually putting those time blocks in your calendar so that you do it and you stay true to yourself and do it, and staying consistent of touching your business every day. Now, that can look different every day. So I've worked with some people. Kristen Koski, the way she liked to work the best is she would come up with theme days. So maybe Mondays was her reaching out to prospects and to connect with new people. Maybe Tuesdays was her follow-up day with people she had already talked to once. Maybe Wednesdays it was team coaching. Maybe Thursdays it was walking people out of the box. Like, she worked best of always doing the same activity every day of the week. Some other leaders have come up with an actual power hour sheet. So the people from Wednesday's call, I actually put the power hour sheet up in the Race to Executive group. So Susan Wheeler is who designed this. And there is a category in there about HHP and about, I think, ISA for Wealth. We'll talk about those if you're not familiar with those yet. But basically what it is those of you who operate well where you need a checklist, a to-do list, it's like 10 items of, have you done this today? So some people like to use the power hour sheet as a checklist. Probably the most common one, and the one I've heard spoken from on stage by 2 different people, is they call it the 3x3. I think I entitled it the daily actions. Is the 3, and I entitled it 3x3x3x1x1. So the first 3 is connect with 3 new people. So the other common thread we hear at conferences all the time is that this business is about life connections. You know, you want to be sincere. You're never out to get people, but maybe it's helping them because they're a fellow grad student. Maybe it's helping them because Jen specializes in hormone therapy for women. Maybe it's helping them because you're on the PTA board with your kids. Like, truly make connections of people you want to connect with. But then in your getting to know them, you may find out, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been spinning my wheels for 6 months. I'm looking for something. Or I've been having gut issues my entire life. I wish I could find foods that didn't upset my stomach. Like, you want to constantly be connecting with people in authentic connection. And if Isagenix comes up, great. If it doesn't, you have a new friend. But the biggest thing you find is that people can start to feel stale or they've run out of connections. So what they've recommended from stage is to connect with 3 new people a day. That can be in person. That can be at the grocery store in line. That I've heard people meeting at the funerals. Like, seriously, like, it could be at church. It could be on Facebook. It could be LinkedIn. It could be Instagram. Am I missing any? Maybe Snapchat. I don't know. I don't know anything about Snapchat. But it's really the whole, you want to constantly be getting out there and meeting new people and just authentically connecting. And so the first 3 is, have you connected with 3 new people today? The second 3 is, I call it, they call it acts of kindness. I kind of call it bringing value back to people. In fact, if you have never read John Maxwell's book, Intentional Living, he says, who did you bring value to today? Find 3 people to bring value to. Maybe you know somebody's going through a tough time, send them a card. Maybe it's, I don't know, offering to pick somebody's kids up from school. Like, who have you lifted up and brought value to today? So connect with 3 people to bring value to today. And then the third 3 is, who are you following up with today? Because the money is in the follow-up. So who are you following up with? And the average, it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups before somebody typically pulls the trigger. So if you stop after 1 or 2, you're missing them. The fortune is in the follow-up, is I think how the quote goes. So 3 new connections, 3 giving value or words of affirmation to people or acts of kindness, however you want to phrase that, and 3 follow-ups. Then my 1 by 1 is also, did you do a post today? Because as I mentioned on one of the Shooting Stars posts today, I found Isagenix because Lisa Maciel did a post about her husband. Most of you found Isagenix because I've made a post. You know, Jen, I met at a networking group, but the other 3 of you, I'm sure it was, you saw a post that I made. So 80 to 90% of our business comes through Facebook, and Facebook is free. That it is such a great tool. But the big thing is, you don't want to shout out Isagenix. We want it to be a natural, organic curiosity post, because you want to be able to talk to them and find out their goals and find out if this is a good match and be able to get belly to belly with them or on the phone with them. And so, and I'm trying to think of what my other one is. Oh, something you're grateful for today. Because I think we're all in a better mindset when we come from gratitude. So whether it's writing it down, saying it out loud, I write it on my bathroom mirror. Something you're grateful for every day. So if you have 3 new connections, 3 follow-ups, 3 acts of kindness, doing a post a day and doing a gratitude a day, just those simple things every single day start to build up, and that's where the magic happens. So I posted both the PowerPoint template and the 3x3 template in the Racing to Executive group. So you guys can look at those, see if one of them speaks to you. If you come up with another idea or you have another system that already works for you, please share, because I think that's the power of these groups, is so that we can all learn together, grow together, hold each other accountable. And just because these are the 3 I've heard of, you may have a brilliant idea that I haven't heard of yet. So don't be afraid to share your ideas down below as well. Does anybody have any questions or input on that? Feel free to unmute yourself and tell me what you think. Anyone? Do we like the idea?
Like it.
You do like it?
I like it, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely doable.
Right. So, and that's the thing, is I think people go to work to overcomplicate this. And again, think, oh my gosh, to earn a 6-figure income, I have to put in 8 hours a day. No, I mean, Randy and I probably put at least 3 or 4, but it's not at one straight sitting. It's in pockets, but it's the consistency of every day that makes the magic happen. So that's really what I want you guys to do, is look at your calendars, and at least 5 of the 7 days come up with hours that you're going to put into your business, and then come up with a system that's going to work, whether you create a system or use one of these that I've already shared. And that's kind of where we'll pick up next week. And then we're going to get into a little more detail about this as well. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in. And so like I said, we will see you guys next Sunday night, which is the 23rd at 7:30. Val, I know you'll be traveling back. So if you want to tune in Wednesday at 11:30, you're welcome to. Or the other thing I'm looking to do is, if you guys are okay with it, I can record these sessions so that if you can't jump on the calls, but you want the recording, I can send you the recording. Are you guys good with them being recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would be great, because I can't, I work on Wednesday mornings and I can't jump on that call with you.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll try and remember to hit the record button every time that I get on. Feel free to remind me to hit the record button. And then, Julie, are you coming to ICU Friday, Saturday? Yes?
Thank you.
You can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I want to, but I can't.
Okay. So Jen, you're going. And then I know Marcy Wade is going. I'm still waiting to hear. I'm actually, Val, so you know, I put a check-in call with Micah just to see how he's doing. And he said he would call me at 8:15. And I'm really trying to encourage him to come this weekend. I don't know what his plans are, but I figure it's worth an ask.
Yeah, he called me right as I was about to hop on the call with you. And I told him, oh, okay, I'll call you back after I get off of this call. And he was like, oh, well, I'm going to call Jody at that point. So I'll call you after mine.
Too funny. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, does anybody have any questions before we log off?
I don't think so.
Okay. So work on your hours, see what your rhythm's going to be for you guys, and we will talk next week then.
Thank you.
All right. Good night. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.